Let me ask you a question. Have you thought about what you're going to do with your TSP in retirement? The reason I ask because if you haven't, this is something that you should be planning for, whether you're, a year out or whether you're 15 years out. Because it does play a big part on what kind of money you're going to receive with your TSP. Some decide to leave it in the TSP, some decide to move it. But the option I'm going to talk to you about today is leaving your money in the TSP and choosing an annuity payout option through the TSP. And I'll tell you whether you should or should not do this. So just to clarify something that many people think, the life annuity is not paid out by the TSP board. In fact, the TSP board has nothing to do with the life annuity. If you choose a life annuity, basically that money that you have set aside in the TSP, those payments get sent to or get distributed by MetLife Insurance Company. Many of you have probably heard of MetLife. They've been in the news for various things. They've been in the news around 2008 for various issues that they've gone through. But MetLife has been around a long time, and they've been doing this since 1988 for the TSP board. And one thing that you find is MetLife, compared to other companies, what they offer to TSP participants is not as good as what they offer to the general public or what other annuity providers, what other life insurance companies provide to the general public. So the TSP will purchase an annuity from MetLife Insurance Company for you, and what you get paid out is based on a number of factors. Basically, the purchase size, so how much money you have in your TSP that's going to be purchasing the life annuity. It can be based on your life expectancy, so how much longer you have to live. And it can also be based on the interest rate. So the interest rate will affect what you receive. Now, understand that the life annuity from the MetLife Insurance Company through the TSP is not based on the stock market, okay? It's based on interest rates, which is different than what the interest rates are based on in the stock market. The reason people choose a life annuity oftentimes is because they want safety. They like knowing that they're going to receive a guaranteed interest rate, even if it doesn't pass inflation, even if it's very low. They don't like thinking about the stock market, so they choose a life annuity, and they like knowing that they're going to have payments for the rest of their life. Because the life annuity, one of the advantages of it is they're going to pay you an amount based on your life expectancy, based on the amount that you have in there. They're going to pay that out, for the rest of your life. Okay, so whether you die at a year from then or whether you die, 50 years from then, they're going to keep paying. So really the hope is for the insurance company that you die sooner rather than later, because then they won't have to pay out as much. And your hope is you'll live longer than you expect. And if you live longer than you expect, you'll basically draw more money. And hopefully you'd beat the amount that you put in. So I shared the advantages, but let me tell you a little bit about the disadvantages. Because in my opinion, most of the disadvantages outweigh the advantages that the life annuity through MetLife offers. Okay, one of the disadvantages is you can't change the annuity. Okay, once you start receiving those payments, you're stuck there. So if you need extra money, different things, forget about it, okay? You receive that annuity and that's what you're going to receive. The second thing that really goes along with that is your annuity payments are taxable. So you have to understand, if you're not going to use that money for anything, you still have to receive it and you're still going to have to pay tax on it, okay? So understand that if you don't need this money, there's really no reason to pay tax on it, because you'd rather put it in a qualified plan that's going to continue to grow tax-free until the time that you take it out. So if you decide to take it out and you don't want to use the money, you're still going to have to pay tax on it and then just stick it in a bank somewhere, and already have paid tax on it. Okay, so that's a pretty big disadvantage. The third thing is you already have 2 annuities set up. You're going to have your pension amount if you're a FERS employee, and you're also going to have Social Security if you're a FERS employee. So if you're a SERS employee, you'll just have your pension, but for you FERS employees, which is most people watching, you're going to have your annuity from your pension, you're going to have your basically, which is equal to a pension, very similar to it, Social Security. Do you really need another source of guaranteed income, right? Like, I think most people could budget themselves better rather than having, this basically consistent stream of income, okay? Because here's the biggest disadvantage. The biggest disadvantage is if you have extra needs that you aren't, planning for, how are you going to use that? How are you going to get that money? Because if your money was in the TSP or you had moved your money to an IRA, you'd have the opportunity to take, more withdrawals or decide how you take money out. Okay, the TSP is more limited in that because you're really going to have that one partial withdrawal. But an IRA, for instance, you can take generally unlimited withdrawals. So if you have a medical emergency, if you just want to take a vacation, if you need to buy a new car, all these different things, if your money is in an IRA, you can take unlimited withdrawals. Okay. If it's in the TSP, you can take one partial withdrawal, but if it's in the life annuity, you can't choose if you want to take more money. So what do you do at that point? You're stuck between a rock and a hard place, especially if you don't have an emergency fund like I always talk about that's set aside. So that's really the biggest disadvantage with choosing the life annuity is not having the ability, to really use that money how you'd like. Also, you're probably not going to be gaining as much interest as you would if you had it in the stock market still. Okay, because you're going to gain, at least historically, a greater interest rate if you put it in the market than if you, put it in a life annuity, because life annuity is going to pay something probably similar to a CD, maybe a little bit higher, but the market has obviously outpaced that, vastly. So something to be aware of. Now, I told you that I received an email earlier in this video from a reader who was disgruntled about the TSP life annuity. I'm going to go ahead and read part of it for you. I'm not going to tell your name or anything like that because I like my readers to be confidential, but I don't think there's anything in here that would be, incriminating or letting you know who this person was. So this person says, I'm communicating with you because I signed up for a request for full withdrawal to purchase an annuity with the provider, which is MetLife, which I told you about. Okay, I received a welcome packet and certificate with the first payment. I was not happy with the monthly annuity amount. It was less than I was led to believe. I communicated that I was in the free look period of 10 days. So most annuities, they give you a free look period where you can basically decide if you want to keep the annuity or if you want to move it to something else, okay? Well, MetLife, I guess, supposedly has a 10-day free look period. Most companies have 20-day, but in any event, she says I communicated that I was in the free look period of 10 days and wanted to cancel the purchase and request a full refund of the amount that I put in the TSP and that had been forwarded to MetLife. I was told that since I was in a group contract, because TSP has a group contract with MetLife, I did not have the 10-day free look period. I was also abandoned by TSP as I had a zero balance with them and I was forced to resolve my problem with MetLife. My reason for dissatisfaction is that I did an internet search to determine what I could expect to get from another insurance company and it was closer to what I expected. MetLife is not competitive. I mistakenly believed that I had a fiduciary level of trust that I feel was violated. At this point, even though I'm the rightful owner of the amount that was in the annuity, I am not. Please advise if you can help in resolving this issue. Okay, so I just sent her a simple email basically saying what I think could be done, and really the email said there's nothing that can be done, okay? Because MetLife is right. Once it's with them, there's really nothing you can do, okay? So be aware of the life annuity option. In my opinion, should you choose a life annuity option? Well, if you've watched this channel long enough, you know that I don't give blanket statements. I'm not going to tell everyone on here that you shouldn't do something, but I will say that the majority of you should probably avoid it, okay? There's some of you that, it may be a good option for you, but the majority of you should probably avoid the life annuity through the TSP.